All right, here we are. We are live. View plus disassembly. Gonna do a quick tweet. Wait for the bot to post the thing. And then youtube.com/@manphalanges. Oh, the bot's not posting the thing. What? Oh, I am live, I think. We'll do it this way. Okay. Bot no worky. There we go. Okay, we'll post this here too. And then we will also do the thumbnail, which is this guy right here. Did I just start? I did just start, Sir Tank. There we go, just did the tweet. You're faster than the tweet. Alright, EWEADN S7 Max, which is actually slightly smaller than a GPX. Here it is on Elo Shapes, guys. Yeah, ever so slightly smaller, huh? So, let's go ahead and do the review first, and then we'll do the disassembly. So, EWEADN, spelled EWEADN, but apparently pronounced EWEADN. Oh, my tablet's dead. That's okay. They have been making some decent stuff here. They started out making like super duper budget stuff, and now they've actually gotten pretty good. So here they are with a mouse that looks a lot like a GPX. It is not quite a GPX clone, but it is very similar, and it actually might be worth your attention. So it's there's a few variants. There's a 3395 version, and I think there's a 3950 version. The one I'm using has an 800 milliamp hour battery. Let's go ahead and pull it up on actually the old actual website. Has some lovely colorways here too. The black and gold is what Daz got, and I really like that. If that was a white and gold, I would have instantly gotten that. There's a white and silver, which is also very sleek, and then I went with the pink, which is definitely the least tasteful out of all of them, but it still is a good mouse. The thing that the pictures don't show are the scroll wheel. I know I'm talking about aesthetics first, but whatever, sue me. The scroll wheel is actually truly metal, and it shines in person like real metal. The side buttons, you can tell, are just chrome-plated plastic, and they shine differently. It's less metallic and more fake. So, for whatever that's worth. The variants that we have here, yeah, they're advertising 3950, PixArt 2862 MCU, which is a perfectly fine MCU. ROM uses it, Vaxi uses it, 52 grams, but not mine because I have the max version. Yep, large skates. The coating is quite good. Omron, not optical there, mechanical micro switches. There's a disassembly exploded view. Let's go to 20k FPS, 800 milliamp hour battery. Okay, so I have the S7 Max, which is using the PAR 2862. I don't know anything about this FR 2012A. I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it. Side switches are Huanos. The main switch difference is the Pro and regular S7 get Huano 120 millions, and the Max and Ultra get Omron 100 millions. Mine feel dull. They don't really feel like Omrons, but okay. 800 milliamp hour battery versus 500 on the lowest end, which the lowest end is at still... It's still 3395 even at the lowest end. And you'll get a lower weight at 500 milliamp hour battery and probably a 52 to 55 gram weight. They all have the same coating, which is really good. No coating difference. And the Ultra, you get an 8K receiver. Yep. Otherwise, you just get... So I went with the Max, I think because I wanted the color, I think. But why don't we get over to the actual mouse? So, general build quality is actually quite good. You do have a little bit of side flex right in the middle here. Not much, though. Nothing really on the top, nothing really on the base. It seems like EWEADN, they tend to focus on build quality, even if it means their mice are a little bit heavier. So, I don't know, that's a pretty... sure, I can get behind that to differentiate themselves. Like the button wobble, very little. It is a well-made mouse. It is a well-made mouse, that's for sure. That front button is solid. Yep. Yeah, no complaints, no rattles, no weird, no click grinding. Even the power button feels like nice and notchy. Even the like battery door cover feels kind of thick. Oh, I did have this QC sticker was stuck to the bottom, and if I pressed into a soft pad, I did feel it scratching. So there, I put it there. Next is the general build, general build quality. We were just there. Shape. So I said this is basically a slightly smaller GPX, which is indeed true. If you want a true GPX clone, the M-Chose A7 seems to be the closest out of what I have tried. And then alternatively, the ATK A9 is also very similar in size and weight balance, but you do have a little bit more thumb groove on and a little bit more of a tapering on both the right and left side. It's just a little bit more of a place to lock in with your fingers, like a U2, but not nearly to that extent. And then the Rapoo VT2 is a really solid GPX clone, but it rounds over a little bit more eagerly than the other mice. So I would say for true GPX clones, stick with this. The EWEADN, what this does differently is we have taper. You guys can see that sign. Let me close the door. I want to be respectful of my wife who might be trying to sleep. The EWEADN has side taper, a little bit of hip flare, just like on the GPX, but that side tapering, you can really feel it. It makes it a little bit more where you want to grip the mouse a little bit more locked in a certain position, whereas something like a pretty flat-sided GPX, you can be more, and yes, I base sanded this. You can be a little bit more universal with a GPX, so perhaps this is less safe. It makes the mouse feel smaller though overall. The mouse just ever so slightly just feels like 3% smaller than a GPX. The ELO shape shows that. And yeah, I'm sorry guys, I gotta bring up chat, but like my YouTube is struggle busting hard. My tablet died on me. So that side taper, let me get the toothbrush out. That side taper, you can feel it. It gets narrowed towards the middle, and then you have a little bit of side angle too. It's not much. It still is a pretty flat-sided mouse, but I'm comparing it to like one of the flattest-sided mice, which is a GPX. So you do have a little bit more side taper here. The button height is also lower. That is mainly, you can mainly see that on ELO shapes. So the side tapering, the slight slope, and the lower button height makes this overall feel slightly smaller than a GPX. And even though it still is a mid-hump mouse, because the click height is lower, the angle of your fingers is also lower, so you might have a little bit more palm contact. Otherwise, the hump profile seems pretty similar. Perhaps the EWEADN is just slightly smaller. Even the base here, the flare around the ring at the base is pretty similar. You do not have on the GPX. You have that infamous little ledge right there. I don't know what to call it. Ledge, sure. You don't really have that on the EWEADN. Let's see, anything else about the EWEADN shape while I compare it here? Yeah, you have a little bit more of a sharp ridge along here. So if you do a tilt grip, you're going to feel that ridge slightly more than you would on a GPX. The GPX, to be honest, feels a little bit more natural, a little bit more refined. A weird thing about the EWEADN, that because the sides kind of do this, like, they kind of start tapered out like this, then as they move, they straighten, and then they invert again, almost like how an HTS does. It's very slight, but because of that, this back button is a little bit more on the top of the mouse shell compared to the GPX. Yeah, and despite the like angled look to the buttons don't feel a ton different other than that click height. There's a small pad of kind of flattish space about here. You don't really have comfort grooves. It's more so just sloping away from the scroll wheel to then kind of a flat-ish area is really what you feel. It's also nice, they put the USB charging port like way far forward so you don't need like a really stupidly skinny cable to get to it. Yeah, by the way, I have this on my GPX because it's a GPX1. Great little thing. Adds 1.5 grams of weight to the front of the mouse, but worth it. Why don't we talk about weight and balance? I think in the thumbnail we saw that it was like 59 grams. So they advertised, what did they advertise again? They advertised 58 plus or minus 3, and mine's coming in at 59 grams with the dongle door, and the dongle door weighs 0.43. So there you go, you can get under 59. This is the receiver it comes with. Decently large skates on it. Weight balance. Weight balance is slightly back heavy. So I was using this at work today and I noticed the back heaviness for sure. Particularly with, you can see the sensor is slightly more forward biased. If it shows up there, yeah, I guess we're not going to focus, huh? Yep, ever so slightly more forward sensor. And when you grip it in line with the sensor, it's definitely back heavy, because gripping it in line with the sensor is like, oh my gosh. Yeah, the sensor's like right about here with the front button. And that's about where I grip. So yeah, I did notice it was back heavy at work, and yeah, that's still the case here. Yeah, center of gravity is like in line with the center of the back button. So maybe the 500 milliamp hour version is better. Mouse 1 and mouse 2. So this is using Omron 100 millions. They feel a little dull, a little bit muted. They have nice rebound, but not a ton of tactility. Less than I would like to see, that's for sure. Hey guys, thank you guys for joining in chat. I'm gonna get through the review. I got my little sheet of things to go over, and then I'll do some Q&A. I'll turn on my text-to-speech bot. Oh, my dog just made a really loud sigh. Side buttons. We can talk about side buttons. Sure. Oh, wait, did I talk about main buttons? No, let's still talk about main buttons. Yeah, very, very little side-to-side wobble here. Very little pre-travel. These are good buttons if you like kind of a more dull feel. Omron mechanicals usually are kind of sharp with a spongy post-travel and not a lot of tactility in the initial step. This, you can tell you're having to bend the shell a little bit. Bend the fulcrum before you get the tactility. So these feel a little bit like medium, even though Omron mechanicals are traditionally a lighter switch. The click feel consistency is not great. Right in line with the scroll wheel. So I click there and it's a little bit stiffer than what I would like. I'm going to switch to lighter switches. Down here feels very nice, but does get a bit spongy. And then as you go up top, it gets very stiff. Still doable, but it gets very stiff. Something like compared to the GPX, I have mine modded. This GPX is at least a lot more consistent. Oh man, I have all these modded except for the ATK A9. Yeah, ATK A9 is definitely lighter, and this is the A9 Plus Pro, sorry, using Huano mechanicals. Side buttons, very good. They are on the stiffer side, which is, I think, a good thing, unpopular opinion. I don't know why these like super lightweight side buttons, like what Rapu is doing, are all the rage. I think it's partially because they're just using those 2-pin switches that are lighter. Man, I have my video full screen. Like, can you not go to sleep, tablet? Yeah, I gotta get a better tablet setup someday. Front button, no real sink in. This is actually really impressive. Yeah, a little bit of teeter-totter. Not bad, though. Back button, more teeter-totter. Sinks in towards the back of the shell. And towards the front, actually. Yeah, some teeter-totter, but actually pressing it hard. Yeah, in the middle, no real sink in. The texturing, they are glossy, so I personally like that. Not everyone will. The location is not my favorite. They're noticeably higher up than the GPX. Even though this is like a smaller mouse. They're also like smaller. Maybe it's not so much that they're higher up. They're a little bit smaller, which is kind of frustrating. I personally would have put them lower, especially they're just very rounded in feeling. They protrude a good amount, but they're just so rounded in feeling. I still think these side buttons, of course they get a pass. I would still rank them like a 7 out of 10. I like the way that they're implemented. I like stiffer side buttons. With the post-travel, pre and post-travel are both a little bit stiff and spongy, which is, I think, nice because you want some resistance to prevent accidental presses. Scroll and middle mouse is probably one of the strongest points of the mouse. It is really good. Really, really good. So, I gotta adjust this clamp before it goes and yeets itself into the abyss, huh? Oh, it damn near already did. Wow. Okay. Sorry, bear with me, technical difficulties. This is my... Is that better? No, I am a bit dark. Okay. That's what I thought. Let's get this clamp set up here. I should really be using... I'm using like these stupid friggin' AliExpress clamps and they suck. I should really get something better. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Okay. Let's try a slightly bigger AliExpress clamp. Sure. Okay. That's like barely holding for now. Nope, that came off. Ay, ay, ay. Let's try that. That might actually work. Sure. Okay. Yeah, you guys can see it. I'll move it out of the frame at some point, but not right now. Let's continue on with the review. So the middle mouse is actually really solid, as goes the scroll. The middle mouse, highly spammable. It's a really nice tactile point. It has a decent amount of travel for a middle mouse button. I would bet they are using a full-size micro switch in this. It's very consistent. It's very tight. This is a joy to use. The scroll wheel itself, scrolling is quite notchy. It feels like a good quality encoder and a good quality wheel. Notchiness, I would say, is probably an 8 out of 10, while it's still fairly quiet. Even the rubber on the scroll wheel. So the scroll wheel itself is like aluminum or something. Yeah, it's anodized aluminum, and then they shape and they recut the edges after anodizing, so it's nice and shiny. But the actual inside of the wheel is black. And the rubber that they used on it protrudes a good... I don't get why like making a good rubber wheel is so difficult. You want it to protrude above the edges of the wheel itself, and they did that here. And they went with like a kind of a soft, more plush rubber. So, and it's a fairly wide wheel too, compared to something like a GPX or Rapupu VT2. So it just feels like a good quality scroll wheel and middle mouse button. Coding is really good. The coding is a solid 8 out of 10 on this, possibly a 9. I really like the coding on this. I don't know if the white one's even better, but this one here, it just it's a really good coding. I would say it feels like similar to the ATK A9, but maybe a little bit thicker, if that's possible. The Yamcho's A7V2, which supposedly had like an upgraded coating, it's awfully similar to that. How's the Rapupu? Rapupu feels thinner, still very good. All these have such good coatings. It's like GPX who would even buy this mouse? But I would say out of all these, the S7 is the best. Oh, my chat went away. There we go. Please don't freeze on me, tablet. I know, like, watching YouTube videos taking up all your processing power. Okay. And skates. The skates are just okay. They're decently fast initially, and then once you start breaking them in, they actually get a little bit slower. They went with a decent size. They're an okay thickness. When I press down into a pad, my soft pad at work, I did notice some scratching. I think that was mainly the sensor ring is not rounded while the other skates are. You can even see that, how rounded the main skates are, but the sensor skate is not. Yeah, I'll probably put dots on this. Performance felt fine. I only used it at work at 1600 DPI, just using the DPI toggle here, so I didn't even check for... Yeah, why does my tablet keep going to sleep? Man. I don't know. I didn't have wireless interference at work, which again is usually a problem for me, so I'm very happy about that. Go to like a Pizogle or somebody else for more detailed performance numbers. I think Daz might even have it in his video, mouse tester results. So, general thoughts and value I'll go over before we get into the disassembly. Let me know, guys, if there's any comparisons Leave them in chat if there's any comparisons that you want me to make or other questions you guys might have. So, general thoughts. I think the listing for this, you know what? I should just look it up. Instead of talking out my butt. So, the EWEADN website has it listed for, let's check here. The S7 Max for $50, the S7 for $40, the S7 Pro for $45, Max for $50, and Ultra for $55. So it's a $5 premium for each. I think the winner here is, again, I bought mine because of the color, I believe. And I paid, let's search for S7. I paid $32.82 from AliExpress before Rakuten 15% cash back. So the cashback did track, so I paid about $28 for mine. So the S7, the normal one, I don't know about this MCU. I can't guarantee that it's good nor bad. So I guess if you really don't want a battery swap, then the 500 milliamp hour that is kind of your only choice for lightweight. Weirdly, the S7 Pro also says it's lightweight with a heavier battery. I don't really buy that. 8K hertz polling I'm not a fan of, but there you go. You get in a wireless with the Pro. And then the Ultra, you get 3950 and an 8K receiver and somehow 1 gram more. I really think the buy here then is either the S7 or the S7 Pro. Really just depends on how much you trust the MCU, because you get the same coding on all of them. At that price, I think it's fine. I think, you know, you're competing, like, maybe you're slightly cheaper than, like, what's an ATK A9 mouse. So a similarly spec'd, let's go to like an ATK A9. These are running like $40. Okay, these are like priced roughly the same. Although you get 8K hertz, maybe you get it cheaper with the EWEADN. Oh, so you don't get $33.95 until the A9 Plus. And yeah, you don't get, yeah, the weights are similar. 8K, okay. 8K dongle, you don't get until the Pro, and the Pro costs $55, whereas with the EWEADN, you get 8K with the Pro, which costs $40. So 55 versus 40, the EWEADN's the buy. The EWEADN's the buy, unless you want something closer to a GPX clone. And I'm not going to dwell too much on this, because there's also the other option is obviously the MCho's A7 V2. So, I think it's a good buy. Why don't we go ahead and turn on the two bots, and then we'll get started with the disassembly. Alright. Are there any questions anyone had in chat about, before I get into the disassembly and I can't really do shape comparisons as easily? TTS bot is live. Cool. Okay, doggy, you are not locked in here. You're chilling in one of your two spots, and that's cool. Yeah, I think that's okay. Alright. Man, so many GPX clones on my desk. Let's start with the EWEADN. Get a photo for the old Reddit. And I like to get the photo with the dongle cover here so people can see it. 59 grams, darn near even on the nose. Right on the nose, Nova. Ooh, for the people watching live, Pulsar 10s on Mouse Market posted an hour ago. Nope, it's gone. $65. Good price. Cool. Oh, yeah, my tablet keeps going to sleep. Man, even though I'm watching the YouTube live, do I have to watch it in the app? See, I'm worried though if I watch it in the app, I'm gonna get Yeah, I'm worried that if I watch it in the app, I'm gonna get ads, and then that's gonna disrupt chat. Not that it even matters. I don't think there's really anyone really watching right now, so this will be a pretty chill stream, I think. So how do I go to my channel in the YouTube app? Jesus, they really don't make this easy. Oh, it's at the bottom. Okay, tablet mode is like not optimized. All right. Okay, there we go. All right. So, what we have in chat so far. I don't want to see top fans. I want to see... Okay, I hope this is viewing everyone's. Hello, LVXO. I replaced my broken scroll wheel on my Basilisk V3 Pro. Yep, I remember that. Cool. Alright. Yeah, look at how goobered up the plate on this gets. I don't even know how. Maybe from me sticking skates to it. That's probably it. But I also don't want to like scrub super hard on it and then mess up whatever weight sensors are in it, the little load cells. You know, I'm a mechanical engineer, but I have not really worked with load cells at all in my career yet. They can be helpful for certain things, like, I don't know if you want to have like a robot that grips something soft. Oh, these are pretty thin skates. These are thin and plasticky. Ooh, they cheaped out on these. Wow. They bend really easily. That's disappointing to see. Yeah, these feel real cheap. They have like a good adhesive and like good edge rounding, but once you take them apart, man, yeah, they hardly feel like PTFE. They're also rather thin. Skates like this size, 2 of them, if they're like high quality skates, are going to weigh like 2 grams, and we're going to come in a bit under that for sure. I'm guessing like 1.59 final offer. Not quite. 1.44. Take a picture for Reddit. Boom. Yeah, these will probably be... Yeah, I don't think these are going to be going back on, so I'll do what I do with all my skates to store them. Is I just put them on a little piece of packaging tape. Oh, I kind of messed that up. Oh well. Actually, yeah, I don't think the skates are going to stick to that. We'll try another. Yeah, what you look for in good skates. So thickness isn't necessarily good. I mean, it definitely is more costly, so it's like thick skates aren't cheap. They're objectively more effort to make, I imagine, because it's just more material. But I think I look for really good edge rounding, like how I haven't tried the new Artisan Dot skates, but people talk about just how crazy rounded they are, and I like that. I think that needs to be more common. I feel like it shouldn't be a big ask to have big edge rounding, but I also get maybe it's like a much cheaper manufacturing process to just like cut them, like just die cut them. And I also like, oh good, we do have the pings are working. Artisan dots are made of POM, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so POM's an interesting polymer, right? We hear about that with keycaps. It's a plastic that's pretty strong. It's kind of like, yeah, you know what? I actually don't know enough about it to talk like super intelligently about it, but it's commonly used in machinable plastic parts. So things like gears. I remember my little airsoft blasters back in the day. they had, the cheap ones had plastic gears, and plastic gears were often made out of palm. And I think it has to do with, I think it's a pretty easily machinable plastic. Manufacturers keep bragging about it as self-lubricating. Used a lot on HE and mechanical switches. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what that means. Is palm, does it have like some sort of oil infused in it or something? Or, I mean, is that bad for your mouse pad? These are things I guess I don't really know. You know what, I kind of want to, can we just like take a quick aside and let's find out. Can we ask Chat GPT? Tell me about the pros and cons of POM plastic. So polyoxymethylene, also known as acetol or Delrin. Oh, okay. So I've used it as Delrin at work before, but I thought Delrin was nylon. It's a thermoplastic widely used in precision parts. They require high stiffness, low friction, and excellent dimensional stability. So it's high strength and stiffness. POM offers excellent tensile strength and rigidity. Yeah, so something that people forget is the tolerances and switches for like getting rid of wobbliness and stuff means that things have to be really, really tight. And certain plastics don't work well with that. So like ABS, for example, really likes to shrink and warp. Low friction and good wear resistance, has a naturally slippery surface and good abrasion resistance. So naturally slippery surface, that's against what? Like palm against other palm? That might be it, or against other plastics. Against like a mouse pad? I don't know. Dimensional stability, chemical resistance. The chemical resistance is more like a, yeah, not really relevant to us. All plastics are going to be pretty fine here. Palm is one of the easiest plastics to machine. Yeah, so like precision machining, so like when you got to cut teeth on a gear or something, it just means that it like chips really nicely. Like think about if you have to drill a hole, like let's say you're weight modding a mouse, you want the chips that come off the mouse to be kind of dusty and like come off as chips rather than it being all melty. High creep resistance, maintains shape under long-term loading better than many other plastics. Yeah, POM is a softer plastic. That's what I thought too. They're saying it has high mechanical strength, but that might not be, I don't know, tensile strength. I don't know, whatever. That's also just a chat GPT summary. But like, I know like POM plastics, like the ones that I felt, it's closer to nylon where like when you press on it, it feels like it could be more skin. It's not soft like a sponge, but it's soft like the surface of it. Okay, like a coated mouse kind of feels like it has a softness to it, but it's obviously not soft. So maybe that's the like lubrication properties of it. Hello, A7 Ultra, ATK A9 Ultimate and Y. Provide a nice stock comparison to polycarbonate. Please answer slowly. I would probably go, me personally, I think I like the ATK A9 for the little bit of thumb groove here on the right and left side. But M-Chose A7 V2 solid if you want more true GPX clone, one-to-one shape clone. Yeah, I think they're both fine. I don't know, get whichever one's cheaper for you. Let's get into the disassembly though. Enough rambling. Look at the glossy bottom. It means the skates are going to stay on really nicely. Dude, why can't we just get a glossy freaking mouse? Or make the whole bottom of the mouse glossy too. Let's see more gloss up in here, please. Alright. Get out the old screwdriver. I don't need my calipers. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this that just fell down. There's my screwdriver. You're mouse addicted like me. Yeah. Yeah, mouse recommendations. I'm surprised that, man, maybe I just have too much knowledge where like I don't really care about people's opinions all that much. Like I would never ask. I generally don't. I don't know. I've had plenty of conversations with dads like is about a certain mouse, but it's more inquiring like, I don't know, I'll tend to get more specific. Let's see, I already got a picture of the screw, so we don't need that. But yeah, recommendations are strong. This is why like affiliate marketing is so incredibly important for brands, especially with products where it's like, I would imagine kind of enthusiast tier products, affiliate marketing is even more important with. I'm at the point where like I can pretty much just look at a mouse and guess if I'm gonna like the shape or not, and then all I really look for other reviewers for is, like, to me, an aim adept style review is, oh yeah, I broke that clip, is the best because he just gives tons of good camera work and data where I can then make the decision myself. Dang, this is not the most efficient layout. I will show you guys a photo here shortly. So we have, let me get this ribbon cable out of here because this thing is massive. So this is pretty interesting, huh? So let's look at the top first. We have sidewall reinforcement on the PCB. It's not really that well done though. It's not. This is rather inefficient just how big all these pieces are. They did drill a lot of holes. I don't know if that's like additional cost with PCBA manufacturing, but usually you want to see on the other side, you want to see little grooves, and I'm not seeing those here for this to mate into, because otherwise when you press on this, this can just slide up and down. Yeah, that's not the best. And the plastic wall thickness here, right where your fingers go, is rather thin. Once you have the clips in, it firms it up quite a bit. So that's good there. And then the ribbon cable is kind of all kinked. Kind of long too. We have up here, we do have lubrication. And not a whole lot of side wobble. They actually could have tightened up those tolerances here. We do have very nice stabilization for the scroll wheel on the top here, because there's none down on the main PCB. Or on the main. And then the side buttons are really cheaply made, but this is, I actually like to see, when you see a cheap design that's implemented well, that just means they did their homework. This is a very simple side button support here, or design. Why don't we take this apart? Has a nice sensor placement. Says Solo. Yep, hello from Ukraine, my friend. I'll try to order the A7V2 Ultra on AliExpress. Okay. Okie dokie. I don't have any affiliate codes or anything for you, so sorry. But yeah, AliExpress, man, it's gotten so expensive. If you don't do the daily check-ins for 50 cents or $1 or whatever it is for your country, kind of sucks. And then the coins page they just updated, so now it shows your overall discount instead of your coins discount, which is just infuriating. Because now everything, then you have $2 worth in rewards from doing the daily check-ins. Oh yeah, side buttons are using full-size micro switches. That's good to see. Then when you do 2 days worth of daily rewards, now it just shows every single $2 item as 99% off. And it's like, well, that's not helpful. I want to see what the coin discount is because I'm going to buy more than one. Yeah. Oh, wow. This is thin-walled plastic. Look at that. Wow. Can I bend the back? Yeah. Yeah. So one thing is they went with a pretty thin wall, but you also don't have any stiffening ribs here. Their supplier, or whoever, I don't know if EWEADN's an ODM, they could have done a better job here. Usually when you see stiffening ribs, that will add rigidity here. And it basically costs nothing too. It's no additional parts, it's just in the mold. And then we do have foam bits on the upward stroke. Let's just check real quick. We have how well, oh my gosh, I just yeeted that. How well are these tensioned? Okay, they're tensioned okay. They are a little bit, yeah, they do pop back up, but it is rather soft. Slap test. There might be foam under there. The right mouse feels like there's less foam. It feels louder. Let's take another look at this here. Nope, no foam. Okay, yeah, normally the foam pad, they would put it like right here. They opted not to on this. And here's the bare plastic uncoated. Interesting. This part, interesting. This part in here of the mouse got coated, but this part didn't. Interesting. Yeah. Injection molding is not, you can see some of the parting lines here between the molds. Not the highest quality, but that's fine. I'm like getting really nitpicky here. Like the mouse build quality still seems fine. The like little bit of side flex that I had, I would not classify that as problematic. Somebody just posted a Sunset Haze crazy light for 70 bucks to Mouse Market. Go guys, go. That was posted, I don't know what, 15-20 minutes ago. So why don't we... Oh, the fulcrums are nice on this. The fulcrums are pretty bendy on this. Pretty thin, pretty bendy. That's good to see. Let's put that back in. Way too much tension on that phalanges. What are you doing? Do you even know how to mod a mouse? I mod mice and mouse accessories. A little bit more tension on that. Beautiful. Look at that. Perfect. Upside down, we get a gap. Right side up, no gap. Good. Yeah, we'll try putting Omron opticals in this boy, so it does look like we in fact do have Omron. Oh my gosh, I just put that on the wrong hole. Ugh, story of my life. Now I gotta get that out. I was not paying attention. I was talking about Omron mechanicals. Dang it, I had the tensioning like perfect, and now I'm gonna get this stupid... Okay, can I get a really strong magnet on this? Nope. Let's try a stronger magnet. Nope. Son of a biscuit. I still remember the first time... Oh, there we go. It was threaded in ever so slightly. I had a friend, like, I still remember back in high school, I had a gaming friend who said... She said son of a businessman when she was mad, and I thought that was so funny back then. Yeah, that tensioning's still good. Let's pre-tension the other one while we're in here. Teeny tiny little battery thing here that goes on this huge foam brick that we're gonna absolutely weigh. I bet you that piece of foam, it feels dense. I bet you that piece of foam is like a gram alone. Let's see if they put foam on left mouse, which I don't think... I mean, they wouldn't do it on one and not the other, but nope, no foam on this one. Modification to the die was done right there. All right, put this guy back in. Check pre-tensioning. Little bit more. How was that? Yeah, it feels good. Sure. And I'm going to grease... I'm going to grease that hole right there, because it does feel like something is grinding on the button ever so slightly, but I can't quite pinpoint where. So we're just going to put a little bit of grease inside of this here. You know, I suppose my mileage would be better if I put it on the stem. And again, the grease that I use is just a silicone grease. It's called Super Lube. I don't know. I got it from Amazon or some auto parts store. I don't know. I got this huge thing of it. I just keep a little Dijon mustard. Yum. The rest of it's in the garage. And then I just use toothpicks. Toothpicks are a good little hobby thing. Yeah, toothpicks and toothbrushes are good little hobby things to have laying around. Yeah, I wonder... A little bit more bending on the fulcrum here. Oh, that might have been too much. No, that was perfect. Beautiful. Okay. Done with the fulcrum bending. We also have an LED diffuser right here in the middle that I suppose I could remove for... We'll see how much weight it is. Gotta make sure I put this in the right hole this time. Don't want a repeat of New Year's. And let's check out the weight on this diffuser. I think it's gonna be... My guess? Oh, guys, I don't know. I don't know if I actually want... By the way, the wheel on my ROM Leviathan started double clicking. Whoa, wait. The wheel? So, do you mean middle mouse, or you do truly mean the wheel? The encoder, the steps. 0.5 grams on that. Where's the LED come from? Where does the LED come from on this? Oh, the top PCB. Duh. I'll keep the diffuser on. Why not? Encoder. Sometimes double click. Okay, I don't know how a scroll wheel double clicks because it's not clicking. You mean it does like 2 steps? Oh, I need a picture of the side button PCB. Sure. Yeah, we can get away to that. Why not? Encoder switch is different, I believe, on that mouse. It isn't optical. Yeah, that's the thing. You guys are confusing. The encoder is just is what does the scrolling motion. That's a Raisha Gen 3 optical or whatever they call it. Middle mouse button's just a micro switch. Diffuser has structural value? Maybe. The top part of the mouse is already pretty rigid. It registers 2 steps when I scroll once. Wow. Dude, RMA it. You send it back to manufacturer. See, the other thing is about RMAs is it also tells the manufacturer or the supplier, whoever, like, that could be a firmware thing, dude. That might not be a hardware issue. It might be a software problem. Because again, optical, I mean, I don't know the inner workings of a Raisha optical, but bro, it should just be like a shader plate and an LED. Like registering twice makes me think they don't have the like timing down right in the firmware. So by doing an RMA, you're also notifying them of an issue. And manufacturers listen when money is being lost. You know, if they start, because you might not be the first person. Okay, I'm sorry. We're finally gonna get to the main meat of this and check the battery weight. Dude, this looks like a pretty hefty 800 milliamp hour. So why don't we do the stupid little foam brick first? This is pretty dense foam. There we go. I did get all the adhesive off. Yeah, I'm gonna say like 0.42 grams, maybe. Yeah, 0.42. That was close. Well, cool. Take out a piece of foam and you get to reduce by 0.35 grams. And next, let's do the battery. It's a big boy, 800 milliamp hour in the max. Ultra also gets the 800 milliamp hour. This is using a PAR controller, which is a Pixar controller, right? So it's not going to be particularly efficient in terms of battery life, but sure, just put a bigger battery in it. 4.2 volt, 800 milliamp hour, 4.2 charging volt. JST 1.25 millimeter connector. I might have to solder a new connector for this. RTB pinout. Just trying to get this oriented correctly. I bought it on Craigslist analog in my country, not official ROM customer, just reseller. Can't back it. Can't back it, yeah. You could also, I mean, you could try just contacting ROM, like, be like, I mean, just be honest. I bought this used. I understand I can't get a warranty claim on this, but I have this issue. Is there a firmware solution in the works that will fix this? I don't know. Heck yeah. Are we serious about that? 14.7 gram weight, dude? 14.7, let's go. This is gonna really change the mouse, swapping this battery out. Wow. I'm excited. Yeah, see all the structural ribs here? Yeah, without those, you'd be able to flex this really easily. Even the scroll wheel's nice on this, dude. Look at that scroll wheel. Yep, so it's machined aluminum anodized black, and then we have a clear core to it. Cost savings. And then how's the rubber? Yeah, the rubber's nice. Yeah. The whole scroll wheel just feels... Oh yeah, that's sharp. Yeah, it just feels quality, man. Yeah. I could try, like, I think a white scroll would look good on this. Like I could maybe switch it to a white, but I also like the feeling of this rubber. Like, I'm just curious, what would a white wheel look like? This is coming out of a Pulsefire Haste. Doesn't even fit the wheel. Lol, that looks terrible. It's like stretched. Yeah, white looks kind of cheap against the silver. Silver on the scroll. Alright, back to the original color. Yeah, I do like this wheel. They did a good job for sure. Get a picture of the scroll wheel. I like these aluminum scroll wheels that we're getting, and they all seem to be a similar design, so they're probably coming out of the same factory. There we go. Cool. It's a good photo. On the camera, I got a picture of it while the LED, the 7th segment display was changing. Yeah, these little displays, if you've ever wondered why displays are so commonly this, it's called a 7, this one I don't think is, no, this is truly 7th segment, okay. So it's called 7 segment because the number of dots that make up each number is 7 segments. And in one of my college classes, we learned how to program those using C#. It's, I mean, pretty easy, but it's just a really clever way of having like 7 LEDs, and by changing them, you get a number 0 through 9. You know, back in the day before digital displays. Yeah, PCB is decent. It's like a nice black color. We got a good amount of solder on the switches. Again, holes for optical switches, but we'll see if it actually supports them. I'm run mechanical 100 millions on it. TTC is at a 13mm gold encoder. And we have the adorable hearts making a comeback with the middle mouse button. Looks like it's on a 4mm riser. Yeah, how sweet, huh? $33.95, Pixart Par 2862. I forget what this BUY 3267N 65N is. Yeah, I don't know if that's like the controller, or sorry, like a USB controller or something. 10 grams on the PCB, not fantastic. Big encoders do tend to use a little bit of weight. And let's see if I can get in there and get that. Oh, can I turn on the flash? Maybe that'll help me get the encoder height. Yeah, that counts. Sure. And that adorable micro switch, I love that. Cool. Okay. Why don't we get a weight of the oh, I did that with the oops. Oh well, people will survive. Like, one thing is I technically weigh the skates and I don't weigh the center skate ring. I don't know, whatever. You know, I used to be like really big into min-maxing every 1/10 of a gram. That's like why, one of the reasons I got precision scales. But the more I started modding, the more I realized like a 1 gram difference, I don't even notice it. A 2 gram difference you start noticing a little bit. This is gonna be a pretty lightweight base. And this has some modding potential too. Yeah. I'm gonna guess this is a decently light base for how big the mouse is. You do have battery storage. I don't know. I'm not that good at base weights. You can see the tapering though a little bit more with the base, right? 11 grams. Wow, I was way off. 7.8 grams on a base this size is pretty impressive. Makes you wonder why they didn't go for like an ultra lightweight version with, oh whoops, the flash didn't go off, so I didn't take that picture. Sure didn't. There's the photo. Brilliant photo, phalanges. Turn off that flash. And for the people who, for like the one person who cares, it does say S7 in the mold. Haha. Okay. So we move that off to the side, and why don't we do the battery first? We're gonna get a big fat 11 and a half gram, no, 12 gram reduction because the foam is gone too. We're gonna get a 12 gram reduction on a mouse that's 59 grams. There's gonna be a 47 gram mouse. Okay, okay. I'm good with that. Get out my little Sharpie marker to write on this. I will say S7 max, and this was 14.7, what was it, 7.1? 7, I don't know, 7.2 grams. Wow, my handwriting was terrible there. Okay. So why don't we get a new battery? I'll probably just solder one here. I got so many of these 40-20-20s. We'll solder a fresh one. Just chilling, listen to some music. I actually had a decent day at work today. I was actually able to get a decent amount of work done. Felt good. Been really struggling at my job lately, just not enjoying it. I think adding a debounce time to the encoder would solve this problem. Debounce times, dude, are for... Hey again, says Alvisior. What's up, dude? Debounce times are for mechanical switches. I don't know about enough about opticals and like the exact firmware to like say this confidently, but I don't think optical stuff needs debounce. I mean, that's the whole reason why their response time is faster for like main mouse buttons. It's because you don't need a debounce time in there. But again, I don't entirely know like what happens at super duper slow motion, you know, 1 million FPS of when you click a switch, an optical switch. Is there a point in time where like the receiver is still registering enough light through? Yeah, I'm not going to try to be an expert in something that I'm not, but my understanding is that that's how optical switches are faster, is that they don't require a debounce. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream, though. I kind of botched this one. I don't know. I was messing around with the camera, and I don't know. The thing is, I guess the EWEADN S7 has enough content on YouTube and online where people can probably find information that they need. My video is more just like... I was going to mod this anyway, so I might as well just go live. Like, have some low-effort content come out of it. So... I don't know. I would love to like have AI or somebody, either would be fine with me, make... Oh, where's the connector? Oh, it's like right there. We can do a short cable. Make, Oh, hi girl, you're awake. I would love to have somebody or AI make timestamps of these videos, because it's really not like worthwhile to me. They're gonna get like 100 views. No, they can't see Nova, unfortunately. You're gonna pluck her? Alright, sorry guys, I think Nova's getting plucked. Yeah. She might come right back here though, dude. I'm just warning you. You're gonna try to coax her with allergy pills. Oh, womp womp. One-time trick, I guess. No, she loves me because I played with her today even though it was snowing out. And she has a new favorite game, which is getting spun around with the frisbee in her mouth. Adorable. What a good dog. I love this dog, man. She's the best dog. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should use these other arms up here. Yeah, she's a good dog. Love my dog. Shout out to all the dogs watching. Woof woof. What's up? And my little helping hands here, I have them like off camera on a they're like magnetic ones. They're not the strongest, but they work. For light duty stuff, sure. Duty. Sure. That looks good. Gotta get my lead-free solder. If you guys ever curious about any of the stuff I use. Man, I really should have like links to some of the stuff that I use. I do wonder, like occasionally I get asked, but I don't think, I'm like, nah, I get asked like once in a while. There's not that many people who want to know. But that's the thing, there's probably people who would like to know who don't say anything. But I mean, who watches YouTube without a YouTube account, right? So they could just comment. And the thing is, I will respond. I genuinely want to respond to every single comment. I'm not gonna lie though, I get tons of comments all the time. Like, I got 2 comments on some old ass Reddit post today about like, can you weigh, like it'll be like a mouse disassembly and they'll be like, can you weigh this very specific part of the mouse for me? And I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna go dig that up and disassemble it just to weigh like the weight of the like, I don't know, side button PCB. Like, I don't know if people are just entitled or if they are just shooting their shot and hoping that, I mean, it doesn't hurt to shoot your shot because like, then if I do remember the next time I'm opening up the mouse, I'm like, oh hey, homeboy was asking about that. But I guess I won't necessarily respond to those kinds of questions. But if I'm already in a live stream, dude, I will do anything because it's content. And because, I mean, you guys are here, so I feel like I owe something to the live stream viewers, live stream audience. Hey again, I think the cheap mice error is going away soon. Everything is overpriced now on AliExpress. That's a really good question, Soul Out. So that'll probably be a Mousecast topic at some point. I think that's more of an AliExpress thing and not so much of a manufacturer thing. Because like, look at the manufacturer prices. They haven't really changed. And like Rapoo, for example. Rapoo is launching, bro. They are Nordic 54 series mice that are on Amazon for $40. So I don't want to say that it's like going away, but of course manufacturers are going to be looking at higher margin options. So ATK A9, make no mistake, we can't always get caught up in the technical side of things. These are also businesses, and oh no, is this out of fuel? Just about. For every, you know, engineer person working on, or product designer working on mouse designs, there's going to be business people too. And the business people are, you know, looking at, well, what about like a higher margin? It'll take, like the duckbill, for example, it'll take more time to develop. It's our own shape. It's not just a clone. We want high-end internals. But let's see how can the market stomach a $130 ATK mouse? So they'll experiment. So this was RTB. By the way, I think the reason why they put the thermistor in between the two is just to prevent you accidentally shorting it. But Deluxe always puts the thermistor on the end. Why? I don't know. Just screw you, that's why. Soldering iron, the stand, the screwdrivers, the mat, etc. Bro, the mat is like some piece of crap that I had since high school when I was taking architecture classes. It's just called a self-healing cutting mat. I don't know the differences in quality. I don't even know the brand of this. I think I covered it up with this magnet. The soldering station is a Muibe, M-U-I-B-E, Muibe, M-U-I-B-E, JK968. I had a really nice soldering station that I sold because this one I got from Amazon Vine and it worked well, and I was like, I don't think I need my fancy one. I will save $1 and sell it. I think soldering tips matter. And then the only other major recommendation is going to be lead-free solder. I just buy this from AliExpress. It's pretty cheap, and I hope it's truly lead-free. This is 0.8 millimeter in size. With stuff like this, you can go thinner, like 0.6. I have used 0.4 before. You end up having to like feed it a lot because you consume a lot. And then anything bigger than 0.8 I don't like. Like, yeah, 0.8 is a good all-arounder for what mouse stuff is. I think it's also like the most common, you know. So we got pictures of the PCB. Are we ready to reassemble? Oh, switches. I'm stupid. Switches. Yep. Those are arm-on mechanicals. Huh. Right mouse actually feels pretty nice. Let's turn that soldering iron back on and rip these out. You owe us nothing. The hype of Rappu, they're definitely going to raise their prices. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Could, I mean, like, very well could be. Again, like another business strategy is, you know, you introduce market. When you're introducing yourself to a new market, you're trying to promote something, you will maybe have less margin up at the front, but then they build a name for themselves, and then their Gen 3 stuff they can charge more for because they've now created a larger market for themselves. I don't know. I didn't study business or anything. It's just like common sense, right? It's like if Rappu comes onto the scene with $80 mice, everyone's like, yeah, it's a good mouse, but $80 is too much. But if Rappu comes onto the scene and a bunch of people try their mice because they're only $40 for something that's really good, then when they launch their next mouse, they're going to have a bunch of people who've already tried Rappu mice, and some people might really like them. They will pay $80, whereas before they would have never even given it a shot. Cool. One switch out. My soldering pump, I guess I could also give a recommendation on. It's this one. I don't know, from AliExpress. You just gotta look it up. It has like this metal aluminum tube, and then I don't know, it's blue. You want, yeah. So soldering iron or desoldering pump. Sorry, what did I been saying? They do seem to vary a lot in quality. The solid all-arounder is the typical yellow and blue one. I'm not gonna pull mine out because it's kind of in storage, but. Having a good quality desoldering pump is worth spending some money. And yes, that is how I just dropped that solder on there because I didn't want to suck it up in the pump. Because I try to avoid like putting a ton of solder into the pump. Just means I got to clean it more frequently. So I'll just yeet it onto the desk. And then another thing in your soldering station is you want to have a little cleaning brush. So my soldering station, it didn't come with a cleaning brush. That copper looking thing in there is a scouring pad from the Dollar Tree. I don't know. That's something that, okay, I think we get too obsessed in our culture about having the right thing all the time. I know I kind of harp on my wife with this a lot of the time too, and I'm also wrong sometimes. Like sometimes you do just want the right tool for the job, but you can get away with DIYing a lot of things. Like the solution is not always buying something, you know? Like what I use for polishing my mice to like a nicer finish, this. You get a stack of 15 of them from the dollar store. They're just like Brillo pads. So you can do Brillo pad on one side and then you put polish on the foam side, and now you have a polishing. Like, you don't need to go buy like some special polishing sponge or sanding sponge or something. Just, I don't know. I guess it also helps though to have the confidence that I'm saying like, oh yeah, that'll work, knowing that I've like tried other things, so maybe I'm a little bit privileged here. I apologize if you guys hear me drinking. I don't know if that's like a trigger for some people. What's it called? Like if eating sounds really bother you. Wish more people would repair things like back in the day. I try to fix everything I have that is broken, even if it's out of my league in terms of repair. Yeah, and you learned something. Got into working on cars. Oh, right on, Sola. What do you drive? I have my summer car I just got a few years ago. It's a 2002 Miata. It's my first manual car. I love it. Can't wait for the weather to get warm again and I can take that out again. Even though we're only like into winter by like, it's not even officially winter yet. And then my other car is a 2004 Subaru Forester. That's an automatic, but it is the boosted XT version, so I've done like full bolt-ons onto that. Minecraft water drinking noises. But I got into working on cars because of actually an issue, and I didn't have the freaking money to fix it. I have a 97 VW GTI and a 2002 BMW and a daily Honda. Oh, cool. So, wow, a 97 GTI. That's cool, dude. Oh, man, there's neighbors down the road from me who have a bunch of junk cars out in their front yard, but they're actually pretty cool. Like, they have an old yellow... Hang on, I want to find it. He has an old yellow Land Rover. Range Rover? I don't know. There's a 1980 yellow Range Rover. Yeah. Yeah, he has this. It looks pretty clean, but it doesn't look like it runs because I've never seen him drive it around. But like, that's pretty cool. And then, so you said you have a 1997 VW GTI. Golfs are pretty cool. I don't really know all the different generations. That's this generation. Okay, I'm sorry, but your headlights are terribly ugly. The back end's nice. What color do you have it in? But that's pretty cool. And like old cars like this, dude, they're so cool because they're so simple and basic. Nice big windows too. Nice and small. Everything is so big now. Love Miatas. A lot of friends in that scene. Yeah, I'm not like into the Miata scene. I just bought it because I like wanted a convertible, and I wanted a small convertible. Yeah, I wanted a small roadster. That's it. So sure. Miata. They say it's always the answer. That's what Miata stands for. And it is a good car. I got lucky though. I mean, I was kind of passively looking for cars, and then it popped up. And I have a story on how I got that car. Generation Land Rover is highly sought after. I might have gotten the model year slightly wrong too. It might have not been like a 1980. It might have been like a... I don't know. I actually think his rear window might be a little bit different, so maybe I'm totally off. But... I don't know. Old Range Rovers are so cool. But I see them in junkyards all the time, which is not a good sign. Because that means even the junkyard ones don't go for much if they're selling them to junkers. Oh, that... Something I just soldered smells like pancakes. What? Okay, I totally desoldered the wrong hole, but okay. I guess that's a theme on this stream today. I don't know, I guess I could talk about my car story. I kind of don't feel like it, it's a long story. But the point is I got... The TLDR is... I called into work to my boss Sunday night, like 10 p.m. being, hey, I found this car on Craigslist. I want to go look at it tomorrow, so I'm going to take the day off. Boss sold an old Roadster, Pontiac Solstice, regrets it. It was his pride and joy. So living vicariously through me, he's like, dude, go for it. I hope it works out. I show up there right as this like super sketchy dealership opens. I guess I'm giving the long version. Right as the dealership opens, it's not a dealership, it's like a dude with like a junk car lot. He showed me a car that was struck by lightning. Wild. You can't even tell. It's just like one little pinprick in the top of the... But yeah, the car doesn't work at all. That was a different car. The Miata was sitting out front. It was a screaming good deal. It was like $4,000 for, it only had 43,000 miles on it. It was total due to hail damage, so I had a rebuilt title. So I was like, well, if it mechanically works, I don't care about the hail damage. I don't want a perfect example of a car because I don't want to have to baby it. There's one guy in line right in front of me right as the dealership opens up, and he, as we're there, he seems like a serious buyer. As we're there, more people show up and they want to test drive the cars. So to get through test drives more quickly, we were going to go out in pairs. One of us would drive out, the other person would drive back. So homeboy and I drive out, and he's getting a feel for the car, and he's happy with it and stuff, but kind of being a little bit standoffish because, you know, we're like competing buyers. And we get to the point where we're going to turn around in like a church parking lot or something, and he's like, all right, let's switch drivers. And I was like, yeah, that's the thing, Tim. I've never driven stick before. And he just looks at me and he just goes, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, get in. I'm going to teach you how to drive it. And so he did. He taught me how to drive it, and I was like really, really discouraged because driving stick is learning to, I don't know, maybe some people are naturals to it. I guess I wasn't. Like, even once I had the car, it took me a lot of driving to actually feel like I knew what I was doing. And so, because I didn't know what I was doing, I ended up buying the car, and Tim was so gracious, and he was like, you know, I was going to buy this as a second car. I already have one, or he was like, my daughter has one. And I kind of wanted one from, I forget what it was. Did he want one for himself, or was he buying it for his daughter? Point is, there was somebody already in his life with a Miata. And I don't know if he was buying it for them, or if he was just tire kicking, or if he wanted it for himself. But he was like, you buy me dinner, I'll drive it home for you. So we did. And on the way home, it blew a tire. So we stop at this like really ho-dunk small town, because this is like an hour away is where I had to go. This really like weird ho-dunk little tire shop, like what you see in the movies, where it's just like a dirt road and then this like small dirt lot that you can pull into with like a 2-bay garage, and like a dude in a white stained with ketchup and mustard burger slop t-shirt coming out. And yeah, he fixed the tire for us. And it turned out that this Tim guy worked in like auto sales for a little bit of his life, and apparently bought tires from this guy, and they didn't even know it until they like met up, because it was just randomly, yeah, just small world type of thing. So I have a picture of like driving home. Yeah, but I remember being on the phone with Tim as we're like driving, because I was in my Forester and he was driving the Miata, and I was behind him, and I could see his tire pressure getting like real, his tires getting flat, and I was like, I don't want to cause an accident. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, Tim drove it home for me. I took him out to dinner at a nice diner, and we kind of hung out, and he was kind of one of those old boomers who just enjoyed having somebody to talk to. He was retired, and I think he just enjoyed having me to talk to. But selfishly, I mean, I still think about the story all the time. Yeah, he was a really cool guy, and the car is great, and it's my daily driver. Yeah, now I'm approaching 80,000 miles on it, and I've owned it since summer of 22. Wow, I've owned it for over 3 years, man. Time flies, huh? I got new armor on opticals that the freaking AliExpress seller scams me on. I know this is an old question. Just ordered MCHO's A7 V2. Has armor on mechanicals. Can I solder an armor on opticals into it? They have a 6-pin socket on PCB, only 3-pin. You have to check the battery modder spreadsheet that I have. I forget if it's compatible. I know it has the pins for it, but that might not mean that it's actually compatible, which is pretty lame. But welcome to current year. I know VGN. The VGN. Man, I just did this on stream. I wish my memory was better. I know the VGN Y2 has pinholes for opticals and they don't work. So, cool. Did I? Wait a second. I didn't even bin these switches. But it feels good though. Anyway, you can always solder in mechanical operation. You just won't get the debounce advantage of optical, but I mean, that might not be... yeah, anyway, you can do what I do. I have that. Actually, I can just show you on this stream too how to solder them in if these don't work in an optical fashion, which these might not. Basically, you got to make an icicle on the normally open pin, the little mini pin that's like trimmed. You have to remove the transmitter and receivers, and then you just solder to the common pin, and then you solder to the icicle. I'm kind of using some jargon here because I've explained this a million times, but I'll show you if we get to that point. So let's try this in optical mode. Sorry, y'all are gonna hear Windows sound. That was me. No. Okay. It does not work. Okay, EWEADN S7 does not work in optical mode, so you will get a demonstration of how to use them in mechanical mode, I call it. S7 max 5-pin optical no worky. Okay. So what we are going to do here is we are going to lift up on this lobster clip here to be able to get the transmitter and receiver out. Hopefully without breaking anything. I think I need a thinner flathead. This should do the trick right here. Beautiful. Okay, don't want it to come out too much though. And then let's try grabbing onto the switch here. I'm doing this in like a really roundabout way, but hopefully it works. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to like rebuild this switch. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Are you fine? I'm fine. Bend these stupid transmitter receivers out of the way that I've now soldered in. The reason I'm doing it this way is because desoldering the transmitter and receiver is such a pain in the butt. They're so small and solder really likes to stick to them. Man, these like tropical lo-fi songs make me want to play Crab Champions. Yeah, Destroyer and I are still enjoying that game. It's pretty cheap on Steam if anyone wants to play a game with me. I'm always looking for people to play Crab Champions with. I've been thinking about getting Razer Gen 3 switches to put in my X2 HV3. How are the clicks? I never tried. Razer Gen 3 switches? Are these just like what's in like the like Death Adder V3 Pro, Viper V3 Pro? Is that it? Because they're good switches like for Razer. So the thing with Razers, it's like spammability is really good because they have a really soft post travel, which makes them feel like a soft and kind of wimpy switch, but they are actually good for like click consistency, like tap firing in games and stuff. At least that's what I found. For like static clicking scenarios, maybe not so much because you don't have as positive of a click feel. Oops. There we go. Uh-oh, my spring came out. Man, here I am trying to fix this stupid armor on optical. I hate this one. Once the leaf spring gets dislodged like this, it's so annoying. Viper V3, I believe. Yeah, they feel fine. I mean, they're like... So, okay. The Wise Owl Cloud XS has probably the best implementation of ratios that I've tried, to the point where I actually kind of like them in it. They did like a rather sharp feel, which is good. Sorry, I'm like trying to focus on this for a second here. Whereas Razor's implementation, it's more of a dull one. How does it compare to Pulsar's? Pulsars are more dull and Razors are more springy. Now, I'm still not saying that like Razors are good. That feels a little weird. I'm just gonna do a different switch. I gotta rip out these other pins though. This transmitter and receiver. I don't know. Razors, like, I don't mind Razors, like, don't get me wrong. I wish... Okay, Razor's implementation, I would rather... It might be the mouse, it might not be the switches. I don't know, dude. Solo out, try it. Like, there are Razor optical switches on AliExpress. I saw them. I don't know if it's the Gen 3 ones. It's the kind of black and gray shell with the purple dot. I've seen them on AliExpress. They're not cheap. I want to say after coins, they are like $1 a switch. Another alternative is you could try to get a cheapo Razer mouse and swap switches with it and then just resell it. I mean, one thing that's nice about it is that there's no soldering with ratios. That's actually pretty sweet. Man, this thing is not gripping. Dude, these helping hands, I really want to get better helping hands one day, dude. I like have to tighten these down every single time I use them. I just wish they had like a better friction mount. Yeah, I don't know, Razer switches are fine. Let's see what else has like good implemented. So Wise Owl Cloud XS feels, I think, really good. Probably the best for ratios. But then the Wise Owl OGM Pro V2 that I have, crap. Way too mushy. Not enough tactility. Post travel is like way too spongy. I do in fact have it on my list of mice to disassemble. Don't know if I'll get around to it though, because it's like a low priority because I can't fix the switches. Not really. Okay, so Mr. Lucky 28 Lucky, I'm gonna go through here my process for putting in a Omron optical in a mechanical fashion. So first I start out by binning a few switches, picking two that I like the feel of the most. I like these two, that one and that one. And then we'll do left mouse first. Gotta put my tweezers away. I use a really thin flathead, like a super thin flathead, to pry up this lobster clip. And I don't disassemble the mouse all the way, or the switch all the way. Just enough to slide the receiver and the transmitter out. I don't know if that's actually the order of them. And then I just close it back up. That's it. Now next is we need to make it what I call an icicle to that middle pin there. So put it in the soft jaws. Get my soldering iron. Get a glob of solder on it. There we go. See, I made myself a pin. I should probably have gone a little bit longer than that, but I think it should be fine. So then we take our PCB. This, I was going to do left mouse here. There we go. Make sure it lines up okay. Make sure it's sitting nice and flush. And you can in fact see the little icicle is barely poking through. So then I take my soldering iron and make sure that it's lined up good, because it likes to wiggle around when there's only 2 pins. Sorry, I just did that off camera, my bad. Well, it's soldering, I mean this is... That's it. Yep, sorry, I didn't complete the solder job on the other pin because I did it really fast, but here we go. Easy. And you notice I was pressing down on it as I soldered it in, because you want to make sure there isn't a gap. There might have been a slight gap under this one. And the switch is ever so slightly cocked to the right, but it's fine. So let's do it again. So we pry up, take out transmitter and receiver diodes, close it back up, put it in the vise. Gotta make our little icicle, get the PCB out of the way so I don't drip solder on it. There we go. And then, man, I wish I should like clip this so that I can just send this video to people every single time they ask. And then make sure that is nice and aligned. I'm pressing firmly down on it so the switch is making good contact, nice good flush contact with the PCB. Sorry, I will do this one on camera. Preferably without burning myself. Oh, I missed that one. Well, whatever, you get the idea. There you go. And now these should work. Let's go test it out. Sorry, Windows sound. Left mouse. Right mouse. It works. Good. Nice and clicky too. So I think we're done with the soldering iron. I can turn that off. Put my helping hands away. Clean up the diodes here. I'm just gonna throw out. Sometimes I keep them. I don't know why I do. Oh, this was a long mod, but I'm really happy that the battery is a damn near 15 gram weight. Bruh. This is gonna feel like a new mouse. Remember Daz's like one complaint was the weight, and because it is slightly back heavy, that makes it, I think, a little bit worse. Bad weight balancing can make, like, I would still rather have a lighter mouse with bad balancing than a heavy mouse with good balancing. It like depends. It's a spectrum, right? It depends, but a heavy mouse I can just mod. And I forgot Daz's review of the S9, S7. And when I just mentioned to him today in a DM, and I was like, man, the S7's like a pretty decent mouse, like pretty well made. Which is funny because disassembling it actually seems kind of cheap. The lack of ribs in the top shell, the like larger than it needs to be side button PCB without locking tabs on the other side. The PCB is in decent shape though. I kind of like the black, and it's decently small. But yeah, he said his main complaint, he remembers, he's like, man, everything's blurring together. But he's like, I think my beef with it was the weight. Red thermistor black, 14.7 something grams. Let's get some tape on this. All right, slider works. Let's try powering on the mouse with the battery. Yep, I got the little infrared LED inside of there that you guys can't see, but I saw it, I swear. So battery, the battery, I think we'll do that. Yeah, that's how we'll do it. I will put it more towards the back here. I could put it on the sensor. The thing is the weight balancing. I don't know. Maybe I should do the sensor. Yeah, I'll do the sensor. I'll let this be a little bit more front biased heavy. So we need the other adhesive that I use, the slightly thinner one. I'll use my flush cutters real quick just to clean up the top surface of the PCB so we have a nice flat surface, because sometimes these little plastic boogers where the sensor mounts get in the way. It's pretty crazy how Pixar has like a total monopoly on the market. You guys ever think about that? You ever just like wake up in the middle of the night sweating, you sit straight up in bed and you're like, Pixar has an effective monopoly on gaming mouse sensors, and then you stay awake for another 3 hours? No, just me. It is kind of weird to think about, isn't it? Like, it's just one company. There's like literally no one else is remotely relevant except for Logitech with the Hero sensor. Pixar adding a price cap because of $33.95 is annoying. Yeah, so what if people don't know, so what Solout is saying is there was a price cap on $33.95 mice. Pixar wouldn't let you sell a mouse containing a $33.95 for less than, was it like $30 US? Something like that. So something interesting is you can look up, if you find it, my Amazon Vine review of the Red Dragon or ResoFi something. They call it an HL9339 sensor. And spec-wise, it is exact. It's a 26,000 DPI, 650 inches per second sensor that when you take it apart, it looks the same as a 3395. But remember, Red Dragon sells their mice cheap. They sell their mice cheap. Like, I think on AliExpress right now, like Red Dragon mice containing this sensor are like $16 before coupons. Okay, am I missing any screws here? Make sure I have all the screws. I got the battery. I tested the buttons. I think we're good. We'll be doing dot skates also, so we're actually going to bring this down even lower. I have my guess for what the final weight is. Feel free to chime in and chat with what you think it is. So to recap, the skates were like 1.44 grams, and I'm going to be going to dot skates. The battery was 14.7 grams, and I've gone down to a battery that is like 3.2 grams. And then I also removed the foam piece that was like 0.4 grams. Yeah, there's the old skates. Yeah, so the Red Dragon mouse, I mean, the sensor performance seems fine. I mean, even Pizogel got his hands on one, and performance was good. Wild, dude. Yeah, Armin Opticals feel fine in it. Not like amazing, but they feel fine. I actually might make those a little bit stiffer. Oh, brother, that's stiff towards the front. There we go. Use the really thin wall PCB to, or thin wall design to bend it out of the way. Oh man, I can only get to one of the triggers. Son of a gun. Yeah, I actually think I want a little bit more tensioning. Yeah, I'll try a little bit more tensioning. Wait, where was I going with this? I don't know, Red Dragon, something. Whatever. Oh, I was gonna guess the weight. I got an AJ159 Pro from a friend coming from London for like $21 from AliExpress UK. Yeah. Yeah, again, this like price cap thing, I don't know if that's just for like US sales. Because I certainly see stuff pretty darn cheap. Again, the $30 thing, I don't know if it is actually $30. I'm making that up out of my head. I feel like I saw somebody who actually said the dollar amount. But man, I spent all that time tuning the fulcrums just to like put them back to where they were factory. Yeah, that's right there. I think good. But I guess sensors are also one of those things where it's like they're pretty boring. Like $39.50, I don't know. To me, it's like not even a selling point. On a mouse that is... Okay, how much would phalanges have... What's the lowest amount, or the highest amount that phalanges would spend to get $39.50 over $33.95 with all other factors being the same? For me, it's like $2. After like $3, I'm like, nah, I'll just take $33.95. I can't tell the difference. The extra 100 inches per second of swipe speed and the extra DPI, who cares, dude? If there's something about $39.50 having like better power management or something, or something surface compatibility, wireless interference, then my ears would perk up. But if it's literally just DPI, like more meaningless DPI numbers and more meaningless inches per second numbers, why? Whenever I buy like the ultra version of something, it's because either A, it was sent out for a review, or B, that's the only way to get a nice color. Battery life improvement would only reflect IRL. Yeah, it just feels kind of spongy. Like it feels like there's foam in it, but there isn't. Let's try that click feel one more time. And then maybe I'll play some Crab Champions before bed. I don't think I'll do another live stream. Like I could. I try to make these live streams like about a singular mouse so that there's like some focus, some structure. I understand this is, I don't know, if you like made it this far, you are insane. The people who watch the VODs of these are like giga chads. I don't understand. Oh no, that did make it feel better. Yeah, a little bit heavy, but it still feels nice. Yeah, sure. Yeah, my right mouse feels a little better. Dude, I'm telling you the weight. Alright. So I think it's weight guess time. Next will be $39.70, right? Like an AMD card. No, I wonder when they're gonna... I don't know. They're running out of 3000 series numbers. Maybe they know something we don't. They're like next generation 4000 series will have something different. I don't know. What's the next tech and sensors? Because there are things like acceleration and sensor angle adjustment, but that's all done in software. That's not really dependent on the sensor, no. The tighter DPI step adjustment of $39.50 is actually nice, and more granular LOD adjustment. Those are two things I forgot about. But like, what would have to be the tech that would make me want to be like, I want the Ultra Max version of a sensor? Maybe more battery life, especially since I do all these battery swaps. Let's see, dot skates. Let's do red ones because I have... You guys want to see how many red dots I have? This is what 1,200 red dot skates looks like that I got for like $7.60 or something like that for all of these. Man, it took forever to freaking unbox them. I showed my wife GeoGuessing Championship highlights while I was unboxing these and putting these in baggies. It was really funny. She was busy doing something, and then I put this on. I'm like, Lauren, this is ridiculous. You have to watch it. And she dismissed it, right? 'Cause she's like, okay, GeoGuessing, like, sure, it's going to be some weird nerd thing that Eric knows about. And once the announcer starts getting all hyped up, she starts watching it, and I explain it a little bit, and she still thinks it's ridiculous. But she watched it. She watched it. GeoGuessing Championships, it is interesting to watch. They genuinely do a good job making it a spectator sport because it's fast, it's understandable, it's a totally visual, it's all an all visual experience, right? Both, you know, you see the location, then you see the map of where they place their guesses. They have their little life bars. And different rounds are like a different bonus amount of damage or whatever to their life bars. You know, the life bars are based on, they take damage proportional to how far away they are from the proper guess. Dude, GeoGuessing, it's fun to watch. I am not a GeoGuesser. I'm not like, I don't have this all over my YouTube feed. It's just, I discovered Rainbolt's channel one day and I was like, this is pretty fun to watch. And I watched like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 hours worth of GeoGuessing stuff, content in my life. But if you ever want like some goofy party trick to show like your boomer family, because they think computers are like, don't exist or something, I don't know. But the thing is, a lot of people the thing is, you have to I guess, okay, maybe showing it to a boomer wouldn't work because they have to understand Google Street View. If you don't understand Google Street View, then the whole premise falls apart because then you're like, well, where are these pictures coming from? And then why do we care? But if you understand how awesome Street View is, then you can, I guess, make the jump to, okay, there's people who like this GeoGuessing thing, so they train on figuring out where these places are in the world. And then sure, we make it a competition because it's fun. Focus Pro 45K is 900 inches per second and 85G acceleration. Rainbolt is scary. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the Focus Pro 45K is in the stupid Death Adder V4. Yeah, like, who cares? 3970 sounds right for that, but like, when are we gonna get like a true leap in performance, a true leap in cares? Okay, so did we want to guess the weight? So I went to dot skates, I took out the foam piece, and we swapped batteries from this 14.7 gram monstrosity. So my guess is gonna be, it was 59 grams, pretty much even. I'm gonna write down my guess, and then we'll see how close I am. Hang on, where's my pen? Sure, this pen will have to work. I really need a different pen. 46 even? Okay. It's a very good guess. This is my guess. 45.89. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. Close. 45.6. So we put the dongle cover on. 40. No, wait. Did you guess? You guessed 46 even, Jashawn? Does this mean I have to give you the mouse as a reward for being so close? Sorry, just shun, because apparently A's are pronounced as U's. Do you guys have ramen noodles in India? I'm about to go downstairs and make myself some ramen noodles. Nah, fam. I gotta not. It's 10:30 at night. I should not eat more food. That's not productive. Okay, well, anyway. Mouse feels much better now. I forgot to take a picture of the inside with the battery in it. Oh well. Everything's available. I'm fine dining. Yeah, wow, this feels so much better. I'm also glad I put the battery. You can tell it's more front heavy. Actually, no, it's like in line with the sensor. The sensor is slightly forward biased. So I guess it is front heavy, but in like a good way. So, okay. Well, I think that does it for the stream then. Is there anything else? We have 6 people watching. Any other question? Oh, no! Yeah, well, you guys are going to get ads because I got... Yup. The video finished, rip, and we played 2 songs right at the end of a 2-hour-long stream. We have 10 minutes of copyrighted content, probably. Rip. I am sorry, guys. You're going to get ads on the video. Man. Yeah, I know. I agree. Man. Okay. You guys want to see my Twitter notifications? Do I have anything? Rapu official reposted my post. Why did they repost an ATK ad? This setup looks insanely comfortable to use. Bro, I just reposted it because ATK is making a headset. Quad mode wireless. I don't even know what quad mode means. We're going to talk about this on I don't even know how much it retails for. Coming soon. Okay. Maybe I should have gotten the black and gold. That's what Daz has. He went black and gold. It does look good. You could theoretically button swap and scroll wheel swap the black and the silver. Yeah, you wouldn't get the text though. The text on the mouse body would still be silver. Okay, well I think I gotta be done, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you guys so much for checking out the stream. If you have any questions about the mouse, leave a comment. Join the Discord. Subscribe or don't. Downvote the video. I don't know. I don't really care. You guys are too cool if you're still here. And Mousecast is going to be Sunday with special guest Jaku from Switzerland. Going to be a very early morning for Daz and I, but it's going to be a great pod. Jaku seems like a really cool guy who is the first time we've had a guest who actually like came to us with a topic being like, hey, can I talk about this? And we want us to talk about his history with gaming mice, which spans like 13 years or something crazy like that. So guys, check it out. Catch you guys all later. Bye.